Adrian in Asheville, North Carolina. Hi, Adrian. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
I'm honored. How can I help?
Well, I've been a physical therapist for the last 15 years. For the last 4 years, I've been at a private practice that serves a pediatric population in a very rural county. There's no other providers in this area. So this has really become like my passion and my purpose.
I love it.
My boss, I love it too. I get to play all day.
So cool.
My boss is retiring in 2 years. She's been doing this for 40 years, and she wants to sell the business to me. So how do I financially prepare for this transition? And how do I determine what a fair price is?
Okay. Do you know what the net profits of the business are?
They're not good. I mean, we have been working so hard, and there's some months that like my boss can't like really even cash her own paycheck because we treat a lot of people for free.
Okay. Let's not talk about the soul of business, or what we all love, but the financial calculation, because that's how you determine the value of business. I'm an investor. I buy real estate. Okay. If I buy income producing real estate that does not produce an income, my rate of return is precisely stupid zero.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
If you buy a building, you can't get a renter in it, and it just sits there and looks at you and charges you insurance and taxes. Then if I bought it for the purpose of making money, then, because it's not a nonprofit, it's not a hobby, then if I paid $1 for it, I paid too much because I bought an alligator. It eats money, it doesn't create money. So regardless of how long this sweet person has had this business, regardless of how great the name is in the community, it only has value to the extent that those two things create money. And so if you're not making a profit, then it's not worth much.
Okay. I know she put in, like, we don't own the real estate. It's a rental. We're in a rental right now. And so there's not like real estate to buy. I would want to eventually purchase, some real estate and own it.
That's a different question and down the road. So here's the thing. Businesses have value as a multiple. There's three ways people value businesses, particularly small businesses, okay? Okay. It's a multiple of a gross rent, or not gross rent multiplier. That's a real estate transaction. A gross revenue multiplier. That is very rarely used in small business because you have to have a very generically operating thing to where the gross revenue works. The other thing you can do is you can value it based on the rate of return I want on the net profit, which is why I was asking you that a minute ago. And I'll come back to that in a second. The third way you can value a business is what's called book value. If I close it and sell off the stuff, okay? So book value would be, we have people that owe us $30,000. We have inventory we could sell off that's worth $15,000. We've got a bunch of used office furniture that would bring $2,000. Those things added together, if we close the business and sell everything off, collect the payables, collect the receivables, is the book value of the business. You can't mix these three valuation methods. It's one or the other. Okay. So what she paid to do the tenant improvements is what you were getting ready to tell me about inside this strip center or wherever you all are is irrelevant. Because the only book value those tenant improvements have is what they'll sell for today, and it's a bunch of used office cubes and some used medical equipment. Is worth what? $20,000 or something, right?
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, out-of-date X-ray machine or whatever it is, right? So veterinarian wouldn't even buy it, So there you go. So that's what you're facing. So my guess is, because when I talk to small business people that are wanting to sell, they go, well, I put this much into it. Well, that doesn't matter. You're not making anything, okay? Or I've got a great name in the community. Everybody knows who I am. I have a wonderful brand. No, you don't, because you're not monetizing it. If you had a wonderful brand, you'd be making money off the brand. A wonderful brand, this is not a nonprofit. This is not a famous contest. We're not trying to be Kim Kardashian. We're running a business. So we're monetizing off of the brand, or the brand doesn't have value. And so if a lot of people know who you are and they're not giving you money, it doesn't matter. And it's not being mercenary or greedy, but this is how we do the valuation process. So I think that you're going to overpay for this, and that's probably okay a little bit. So the way I would value it if I were in your shoes is I would figure out what the net profits were after you are paid and after she is paid a basic office manager fee, not an owner's fee, okay, but an office manager's fee, to where if I came to North Carolina and I wanted to buy this and go back to Nashville and you all operate it, what would my net profit be? I would have to pay, both you and her to run the thing today, right?
Right.
Okay. And so what's the net profit after those positions are filled, and that net profit times 4 or 5?
Okay.
Is your actual valuation. 4 means you're getting a 20% rate of return on my money when I go back to Nashville. 4 means I'm getting a 25% rate of return. 5 means I'm getting a 20% rate of return. So that's called a capitalization methodology, and you're capping it based on that. Now, small business is highest risk possible category for an investor, and so a venture capitalist is going to want more than a 25% rate of return. So if you made 50 grand, the thing's worth 200.
Okay.
If you made 50 grand, it might be worth 250. But she really has in her head that it's worth a lot more than it is. And there you go. Okay. So don't pay a whole lot more than that. So if you run your multiples out 4 or 5 times, and if you want to give a little bit more than that, because I think there's upside, because I think you're probably going to run it better.
I hope so.
Really, I think you see the upside. Where there's some low-hanging fruit, you can turn this thing around. So I don't want to pay her for that. She didn't create it, but I'll give her a little bit for it. Now, then how do we come up with 150, 200 grand? Because I'm guessing you don't have that.
150. We have about half.
$500,000?
No.
You got 75.
No. Yes.
Okay.
1,000.
All right. Yes. So you got 75,000. Let's pretend the price is 175 after we do our multiple that we just did. Okay.
Okay.
Are you with me so far on that tracking that cap rate process?
Okay. So if my profit was 50,000, then
net
you multiply
profit
it by
times 4 or 5.
And so that would be 200,000.
Yes. Net profit times 4 or 5 after she's paid and you're paid.
Okay. I'm with you.
She doesn't get to work for free and create more net profit in this calculation.
Right.
So, but I don't want to pay her I don't want to pay her. If you can fill her position for $75,000 a year, and she's taking 175 out, the 100 doesn't count. It's only the 75. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then when we get to the bottom line, times 4 or 5 is your value, and you've got 75,000 of that saved. Give her the 75 up front and tell her she gets every dime of profit above what you currently are being paid right now until we get to the other number.
Okay.
But you're not going to put payments on it.
No.
Because you don't know if you're going to make a profit. And so here's the formula, okay? Let's say it's making $50,000 a year for an example, and you settle on $200,000. You give her 75, you owe her 125, and it's making 50 a year. You're going to give her 100% of the profits after you get paid your basic same salary. Your income's not going to go up. It's not going to go down until she's repaid.
Okay. Yeah.
And if it makes 0, she's going to get 0 that year.
Okay.
If it makes 125,000, she's going to get all her money in 1 year. Follow me?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So then that way you don't get put in a cash flow bind by the former owner, and it puts you out of business right after you bought it and gave her 75 grand.
Right.
She doesn't get burned. You don't get burned. And it's not, so it is debt, but it's not debt like with a stupid bank with a SBA loan, which will come and take everything the first time you blink.
Right. Okay.
And that's what
I don't want to use debt at all.
No, not traditional debt, especially when you're telling me we're not even sure we're making a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get some of those down months and you got those stinking payments, you're going to get belly up before you know it. You don't need that stress. because you're trying to learn how to do stuff you hadn't done anyway, which is run the business, not in addition to being a great physical therapist for pediatric.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I never wanted to do as a PT. I never wanted to work in outpatient or with kids or own my own business. And God has a sense of humor because I'm going to do all three.
Well, and you're already doing them. You're already doing them. You're already doing a whole bunch of this, and that's why you're in this position. So, and the great news is you've been given a joy to do great things for people. And when you do that, your business has got real soul because you're serving and you're giving and you're helping, and you're going to get certificates of appreciation with presidents' faces on them called profit. And that's a good thing. This is how capitalism's supposed to work. And I want you to go make $2 million a year and help so many children that it just makes everybody cry from all the stories. That's just so awesome. You're amazing. You're what makes America great. Thank you, Adrienne.